Welcome to the Kingdom Live, Monday the 12th of September, rocketing through September after last week in such a popular 4-part series. We look forward to...
Crushed it.
Absolutely. We look forward to bringing you another 4-parter because I think it spoke to the people, Adam. Welcome today.
Spoke to the people, Zahn. Indeed it did. 4 parts of us speaking to the people. Gold, right. Let's get started. 1-part series today.
1-part series today.
First part of 1-part series. What do we got?
Part 1.
Yeah.
Let's start with part 1.
Go for it.
So today we're going to talk about 7 ways tremendous enthusiasm can have an impact.
Love it.
On your sales and how your sales team behave.
Exactly. And I think your whole entire business.
Yes.
Right to the core.
Exactly. Because everyone in your business is a salesperson.
I know, and this is a huge topic. We poll when we're out public speaking, the audience, and most people think they're not, but the entire organisation is made up of salespeople. Every single part of your organisation, and they're all selling to each other, which then in turn sells to the customers, so everyone's in it.
All right, so take us away. Number 1.
Okay, well the first thing we love about this enthusiasm for sales is it brings your products or your services to life. And now it's your job, if you are customer facing, to bring your product and service to life. It's animation, it's the salability factor. We invented this one. It's the combination of knowledge plus animation that gives you your salability factor. So if you're not going to bring, and this leads us on to number 2, if you're not going to bring love of your product or service to the equation, who is? Who else out there is going to provide the love and the enthusiasm for your product if you're not the one doing that? And so you've got to love it because nobody else is going to.
We hear this quite a lot too, where salespeople say, you know, if I can't love the product I'm selling, who is going to love it?
No one else is going to appreciate it.
I can't be out there pushing it.
Exactly. So there's so much competition out there. So you've got to love your product. You've got to be the lover of your service. And be enthusiastic about that. Even if you hate your product. Now, there's a good point. If you don't like your product and you're having a hard time getting fired up about your product or your service, I think it's time to change careers.
Yeah, it might not be the place for you.
Exactly. Get a different job. Don't waste the time of your employer. Don't waste the time of your business. If you don't like what you sell, change. Not that hard.
Yep. Very, very good.
So we did 2 there, son.
2.
7. It's like a long one today.
Wow. Number 3.
Number 3.
It's just making things more interesting.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's just being interesting,
and
being relatable.
The thing about this, son, is that a lot of this content comes purely from experience of actually having consumed something, purchased a good or a service, and analysed that great service you might get every now and then. And so a lot of the times people are just having fun with their experience. And like you think of restaurants a lot, when you get that great waiter or waitress who loves what they do, has a good time, and brings the product to life, then you have fun with it. So it's more interesting. I think it's a really key point, is that you've got to have a good time with your brand, you've got to have fun with it, and you've got to be more interesting.
Well, it makes you as a salesperson more memorable, doesn't it? So
absolutely,
you use the restaurant as an example, and so often when you do go to a restaurant, you have that great waitress or waiter, and you have that wonderful experience with them. You're more inclined to go back, and you're more inclined to tell friends and relatives and share the experience.
Totally agree.
Nice segue into the next point, which is when you do use enthusiasm and you show some passion and excitement, it tends to make you just that little bit more forgivable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Now, there's mistakes that occur in the sales process for just about every single product. That absolutely occurs. But the thing is that at some point in time, you may well have to ask your customer for forgiveness. Now, it's going to be a lot easier to get that forgiveness if you're a happy, enthusiastic, enjoyable sales experience. If you're a grumpy, downtrodden, word-free, boring grump, she does that, you do grump well. If you're that, then you're not going to get that forgiveness as easy. It's like, well, you know what? This is all too hard. I'm just going to not worry about it. Off you go, sport.
Exactly.
So be forgiven easier with that animation factor happening.
Now, the next one's a really interesting one because sometimes you find yourself in a position where you're selling the same product as the bloke or lady 2 doors down. So if you have the enthusiasm and passion and go-get-'em attitude, that possibly will get you over the line and make your same product more attractive.
Well, let's not forget that people love to deal with people, no matter if it's B2B or B2C or B2G or C2G, it's basically P2P. We're in a P2P world, which is people to people, even though the internet does exist. But if you are in a business that is competing against the internet, you have to have fantastic animation and you have to have great enthusiasm because that is one of the ways that you can make a competitive advantage difference to your business. you are potentially competing against the e-commerce experience, and that doesn't bring the product to life. The other thing too is you just don't know how enthusiastic the person before you was. If you're involved in a pitch or if you're involved in a meeting of any sort, the person before you might have absolutely knocked it out of the park by being super enthusiastic. And if you're drab and you're boring, you just got annihilated. So it's a competitive advantage having enthusiasm.
It is. Now, number 6, and this is bringing out the inner child in me. Number 6 is pretty straightforward as well. It's just that you become more fun to be around. If you're showing that passion and high energy, not only are you fun to be around for the people that you work with, but as a customer, I want to deal with a fun person, you know? Like,
absolutely.
It becomes infectious and contagious, if you like. And going to the restaurant where the waiter knows you by name and is enthusiastic when you walk in and knows what you like to drink and all of those things.
You feel treasured.
You do.
Now, this is really good, though. When you talk about, when people start wondering, I'm not a salesperson, this is where the mantra of everybody is an internal salesperson becomes real. Is if you are going to go to the grumpy accounts person or the grumpy inventory person who doesn't think they're actually part of the sales process and they start giving you a bad time, well, that makes it hard for you to deliver for your customers at the coalface. Now, I've had this exact experience as a salesperson. We used to have a very, very grumpy stock manager, made it very difficult to get stock out, and eventually sales became difficult. So are you a good internal salesperson? Are you actually giving your breath of fresh air and enthusiasm? Now, all organisations have that person that's just super happy and chirpy and great to be a part of the team. So make sure that you're bringing enthusiasm and your A game to your job, because as people, as businesses evaluate staff and it gets more competitive with global outsourcing and internet pressures, fantastic people with great passion, they're the ones that can get the jobs.
Fantastic.
And keep the jobs.
Good tip.
Indeed.
And the last tip, number 7, and this is a really, really obvious one, but I don't think people actually join the dots on it.
No.
By showing enthusiasm and passion and excitement, it's going to become a lot easier to ask for a referral.
Yeah.
So word of mouth, we hear it's thrown around all the time, and what sort of marketing do you use? I don't need marketing, I use word of mouth.
Yeah, that's a cop-out for not having a budget.
Well, it is, absolutely.
Because word of mouth, well, that's a whole new topic. We might do that tomorrow, actually, but part 2. The thing about referrals, though, is that in the old days, it was just voice, before the internet and social media rolled through. But these days, it's absolutely getting that magnificent referral through Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or Google+. Any one of those programs or any one of the social networks can give you fantastic referral, which then goes viral. Okay, so it's not just about the friends you might know, it's also the influence you can have on the internet and what testimonials, what they can do for your business.
As consumers, we're looking for that added affirmation that buying this product was the right thing to be doing. So to go to a website and be able to read a review or a referral of the people who are selling it really is a big stage of the process.
And look, this is a really good point about making sure you've got your digital footprint under control, because as part of having your digital identity correct, you need to be monitoring these websites for reviews, responding to tweets. If people are actually putting up testimonial information, you've got to have your digital assets under control so you know exactly what's happening out there, so you can actually respond to make sure negative or positive review doesn't go untouched.
Fantastic. So there you have it, 7 top tips on how enthusiasm can help.
Do you know, we could pretty much do 28 of these. Maybe we'll do part 1 of a 4-part series on top tips.
Sure.
Okay, we're going 3 more days of this,
We've decided to flip it a little today. Rather than doing an app of the day, we're going to give you a tip of the day. It's still 3 letters, app, tip. And that tip of the day is
We've got a letter budget here.
Yeah, we've used a lot of letters today.
I'm sure.
Really straightforward and simple. It's give the people the tools to give you the feedback that you're asking for. So if you have a retail shop, have some counter cards made up asking for, come to our Facebook page, like us, use the hashtag.
Hashtag's really important.
Leave a comment, leave a review, share us on Instagram, take a photo here and use this, prompt people to do it. And what you'll find is that your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter followers start to increase. Viral posts can happen that way very easily, and the use of a hashtag.
I've got a story on this.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I was at Sydney Airport on the way home from on the way home from some god-awful country, I think America. And then,
Hi, America.
Yeah. Then landed and got a coffee which had a really cool little Love Sydney icon on it.
Oh, yeah.
Had a big heart and the word Sydney underneath. You know how they do the cappuccino shaky bit, which is amazing. And so I totally wanted to go and hashtag that and put it out via Insta and be all cool about it. And went up to them and they said, oh, no, we don't have hashtags, but everyone asked that. We should. It's like, yeah, you need that on your menus. You've got to have it on your counter cards, have it on your specials of the week. Ask for referrals, ask for testimonials. Make sure you give your customers the digital mechanism to give you those good referrals, to make good on fantastic, awesome service, enthusiasm and tremendous sales experience.
And quite often you'll find some resistance somewhere within your organisation. You go to your boss and you'll say, hey, we're going to start this hashtag. And no,
just
don't do that. But do it. Start. Kim Kardashian started with one. We always say that, but start. And
great salespeople get through impediments. They bust past impediments.
And use the hashtag in whatever social media posting you are doing, except LinkedIn. Hashtags don't work on LinkedIn.
They do. Good point. Didn't know that. I did, but I didn't. I always do that. Good point.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. Tomorrow, this is the next segment of the 7 tips, or we can
I'll make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whole new topic. If you'd like to see any of our previous episodes, you can do that at thekingdom.com.au/the-kingdom live. If you did miss the 4-part series last week, there are videos and blogs to accompany each of the videos. Really worth looking at. We talked about how social media can help to engage each stage of the sales funnel.
Like 78 clicks on one tweet. Awesome.
103.
103.
Who's counting? Excellent. See you tomorrow.
Bye.